I rise to ask a point of parliamentary inquiry. Is this an appropriate time to point out that the Republicans named Children's Savings Account in their so-called One Big Beautiful Bill after Donald Trump, someone connected to one of the most notorious pedophiles in this country, or that the Speaker of the House just lied on the floor by stating that there was protection, there isn't protections for the victims in the Epstein bill.
Oh, whoa. The gentleman will not suspend right now. Is it live or is it Memorex? Hero of democracy, Representative Jimmy Gomez of the great state of California.
Yes.
Good morning, Rep. Good for you. Wow. You brought
Good
that
morning.
fire yesterday.
Oh, yeah. No, it was it was fun because one of the things we're standing there, and I wasn't planning on going right after Speaker Mike Johnson and just hearing him just keep on spouting lies about that there was no protections. And as I was standing there, Speaker Pelosi was like, he's lying. And so I was like, we're just going to call him out and just really tell the American people that he's lying. And I guess because the Senate ended up passing it right away, they agreed with me that there actually is protections in the bill, not like Mike Johnson says that there isn't. So it was. We had to just call him out.
We had Representative Crockett on yesterday, and I was on Hannity last week, and I had to follow Mike Johnson. And I said, I know how you guys much feel. You're in this bubble where they just lie continuously. And so I understand, and God bless you and the Jasmine Crockett's of the world for bringing that fire and that truth. And I got to see you speak in person Saturday, and you were fantastic for Andrew Sneed, who we just had on yesterday. He's running in Alabama. And, great. I love Representative Gomez. Talk a little bit about what a big tent we are. Andrew's running in Alabama. You're there on MSNBC Sunday talking so eloquently about your mom and your experience and this ICE nightmare that we're living in. Just talk a little bit about how you're feeling going in, after yesterday and going into the midterms.
Well, I'm feeling really motivated because I know that there's a lot of energy out in the public. And one of the things I always say is that we might not agree on 100% of the issues 100% of the time, but we agree on one thing. We have to stop Donald Trump and his takeover of America. And that means we have to sometimes put aside our differences and really get to work and get to a place where we're talking to people that don't necessarily listen to our podcast, read our newspapers, or watch our cable shows. That we really got to go into those red areas. So the reason why I like Andrew is because he's trying to take a Democratic message in a deep red state, in a deep red part of the state, and trying to talk to voters and tell them why Democrats, including himself, are a better option for working class people, when it comes to housing, healthcare, you name it. So I think that's what, in order to win, we got to just start going into the places that are not comfortable. We're more likely than not, people are going to slam that door in our face. But I'm excited because yesterday I think we were on the right side of an issue that the Republicans campaigned on, but then basically backed out or were lying to their own base of supporters that they were going to drain the swamp and they were going to make the federal government transparent and they're going to hold these pedophiles and these elites accountable, and then all of a sudden they turn their back on, I think, one of the biggest parts of their MAGA platform. So I think that we're on the right side, and with these elections that we just had, we're kicking ass, and we're going to keep going.
Yeah. Rep, you posted Trump melted down over Epstein again last night. He must be covering up something bigger than just his name in the files. He's desperate to control what comes out. The public deserves transparency. Survivors deserve justice. Were you surprised that it passed the Senate so quickly? Because, everyone from your new best friend, Marjorie Taylor Greene, to many of us have said he's got something else up his sleeve. The DOJ's, not going to, they're going to say, ongoing investigation, can't release him. I mean, what is your take on what's happening?
Oh, yeah, no, I think he came to the conclusion a few weeks back that he was not going to be able to stop this. He was performing in some respects. And then at the same time, that's why he called on the DOJ to start investigating the Democrats in these files. So it's going to his seat, it's going to his desk, he'll probably sign it, and then they're not going to do anything with it, which I think it goes against the will of Congress and the will of the American people. But he doesn't care, right? He operates outside the bounds of the law and the Constitution. So this is just another thing that he's going to ignore.
You also interesting. I hadn't seen this, Rep. You said there are 3 Epstein email revelations the media isn't talking about. Every one of them involves Donald Trump. One is about what Trump was doing at Epstein's pool. Another is what Epstein really thought of him. The last one blows up Trump's entire claim about cutting ties. Trump does not want these details out. You said victims deserve the truth. I was struck by, we played one of the victims already. They voted for Trump, so they're trying to say this is political. And again, because as you just said, he ran on releasing these files. So, I mean, as a woman, it appalls me that that any woman, let alone an Epstein victim, voted for Trump. But there it is, right? Yeah. So he's betrayed everybody that voted for him.
Absolutely. And I think that's when we started seeing it percolate in the podcast sphere, where you're seeing a lot of these people just mad when he kept on saying, no, there's nothing there. They're just they're gaslighting their own people, so they got really pissed off. Yeah. And remember, that, like Tulsi and all Trump and all of them, drain the swamp, there's a cabal. Well, they're the ones who are fucking covering up for the cabal.
Wow.
About that.
I'm
not supposed to.
Yeah. Listen, there are not enough swear words to get through this administration. I am so with you. And if it weren't for Trump's FCC, I would be right there with you.
But no, it's one of the things is that I think that's why they're so mad. And also, when you look at the women, I was looking up to the gallery yesterday during the vote, and I was like, holy damn, there's a lot of, that's just a fraction of the women.
Of the 1,000.
And there's 20 of them, right? Yeah. So, when you see them physically in a space, and you're like, wow, this thing was bigger than most people know, and I think it was more insidious than most people know. So it was startling to see these women right there, and it's not a number on a page. It's physically people who were impacted by this guy.
Yeah. Yep. Well, speaking of people, impacted, you posted Charlotte seeing the same playbook we saw in L.A., raids that target faces and accents, not criminals. The only thing it accomplishes is spreading fear through hardworking immigrant communities. You, again, were on MSNBC. I saw you this weekend. I'm like, I met that guy yesterday. But just talking about your mom and your personal experience, can you talk? Because we have Mayor Bass on all the time, and it's hard to explain the how ghost town feeling of some areas of LA and the fear that they are purposely trying to propagate here.
Yeah, no, the fear is real, and I think it's because people know that they're targeting people based on what they look like, the jobs they have, if they don't speak English well, you name it, they know it, and it spreads, and they don't want to be caught up in it. Even people who are legal permanent residents or citizens, so they just are not going out. During the summer months, right after schools opened, on the day that schools were opening, I met a mom who said that her and her kids didn't leave their apartment for the entire summer. For the entire summer, they didn't leave. I talked to one doctor who said that a patient that needed dialysis was delaying their care because they're afraid of ICE and immigration. And you need functioning kidneys or dialysis in order to live. Yeah. So this is kind of the real impact on people's lives, and also economically, you're seeing people just not go to work. You're seeing them not spend, and that's contributing to what you see in the economy as well. So if people think that these raids don't impact them, no, they're impacting them, and that's even why Marjorie Taylor Greene, who owns a construction company, says no. We got to call for a pathway to citizenship for undocumented immigrants, which is mind-boggling, right? Because they're the ones that demonized immigrants from the very beginning.
Yeah. Do you, when Marjorie Taylor Greene speaks now, do some of you just like Scooby-Doo? Because I mean,
honestly, I can't tell if she's found a new light or she's a sociopath, right? It's like, how do you go from one?
Could be either.
So I've seen people's political perspectives transform, but usually when it's something that shakes their value structure, their value framework to its core. Yeah. I don't know if there's anything that's shook in her value framework to her core that's causing her to change.
Or it's just opportunistic.
Yeah. So this one to me seems opportunistic. So it's but you know what? It's I'd rather still have her talking and speaking to her platform and hopefully convincing some of the people that Trump has been a sellout when it comes to their own values.
Yeah. This headline, ICE to raid Spanish-speaking churches over the holidays. I mean, ICE is going to implement a comprehensive plan to target Spanish-speaking churches across the country during the holiday season between Thanksgiving and Christmas. One attorney, actually in the Massachusetts office, said that he attends a Baptist church in Massachusetts, is a registered Republican. He said he does not see how this plan is in line with either American values or biblical doctrine. Thank God there's some people still, still saying this is just awful, no matter where you fall on the political spectrum.
And it's interesting. This is where I don't understand the Republicans at times, or maybe I do understand them, is that immigrants, right? Latinos often tend to be very religious. They tend to be family oriented. Yeah. They like to have kids. They like to work hard. They like to start small business. They're entrepreneurial. And then you're like, hey, you know what? We care about Christ and people who follow, we believe people should follow Christ and the church. But you know what? We're still going to go after these people. It's like, what?
Right. Yeah.
It's
right.
insane.
Right. I think you were talking about your mom lives in Riverside. Yeah. Well, you were talking just a little bit, because I know we all have. I was going to tell you my personal story. My friend Steve, his ex-girlfriend has a special needs little girl, and she is her caretakers that help out are brown, and so same like you said, she hadn't been out of the house practically all summer, and so Steve offered to take them to the beach because he's a white guy.
Yeah.
Like, we're in a place where you got to find a random white guy to go help you with your special needs child because, but this is what it's like here in LA, right?
No, absolutely. And I think that's where you see the streets are empty in certain neighborhoods. And if they're not, they're very cautious. Mm-hmm. And people have to, even church, right? So say people stop going to church. Well, I know a lot of people who, like, statistically speaking, people who don't make a lot of money actually tend to give a lot of their income at church, right? Yeah. So they're donating to help the poor and the needy, but when they can't get to church, they're not going to be able to make those donations. They can't get to work. They can't earn money for their family or go shopping. They can't help other small business. So the fear is real. And my mom, now she just goes to watches church online. But it's a real thing, and especially for.
But that's the whole point of church, is to be in community with other people, right? I mean, this is like it's during COVID. That's what some people are saying. Shop owners, this is worse than COVID. What's happening now?
No, it's true, and we still don't know the full impact of it because it's spreading. And now they're in Charlotte, North Carolina, and most people don't know that there's a big Latino population in North Carolina.
My sister's hometown, and where my mom lived till she passed. Yeah, no, Charlotte's my second home. Rep, I saved this last one because I feel like this just sums up the horror of everything we've been through. Pardoned rioter tried to silence Mullins Station victim with promise of millions from January 6 reparations. A pardoned January 6 rioter has been charged with sex crimes against 2 children, including molesting a child as young as 11. Andrew Paul Johnson dangled the prospect that one of the children could receive money because Johnson claimed he was entitled to $10 million as part of reparations for his January 6 arrest. Trump and January 6 rioters floated the idea of a compensation fund for the rioters. Johnson said he would put the victim in his will to receive any of the money left after his death. Police believe this was done to keep the child from exposing what Andrew had done. I don't even know where to start with that entire story. Do you? I mean, it's...
Yeah, no, it's... the more I hear about the non-upstanding citizens that were storming the Capitol, right? These folks were just, they're some of the worst.
Worst of the worst.
And let's give benefit of the doubt. Some of them just didn't know what, were in the crowd in the back. But there was ones that were attacking police officers, trying to overthrow the government, trying to stop the transfer of power. And so if you look at a lot of these individuals that have been pardoned, a lot of them are showing up with different records that they were either violent or criminals or in trouble with the law. And this is just another example of it. And it's just shameful because if we would have held these individuals accountable, they wouldn't be necessarily just walking on the streets freely.
That just struck me right now that he calls, undocumented immigrants the worst of the worst when literally
Exactly.
These people on their side, the worst of the worst. Let us send you off with this headline my producer just handed me. Democrats up 14 in new generic 2026 House poll.
That's right.
What? Blue tsunami. That's what we're talking about. Because of heroes of democracy like Representative Jimmy Gomez. You are Chris's personal congressman, and he rides his bike here. There's a couple of potholes he needs to talk to you about.
Stop it.
I'll call his city council member.
Yes,
Who can,
I can do that myself. Thank you, though.
Rep, thanks so much for taking time for us and for fighting the good fight for those of us here in LA. Thanks so much. Well, getting sick always happens at the worst time, doesn't it? Middle of the night, weekends, right before the holidays, your doctor's office is closed, urgent care means long waits and big bills. That's why I keep a medical emergency kit at home. Prescription medications ready when I need them. This is not a first aid kit. It's like having urgent care and pharmacy right in your home. You get essential prescriptions like generic Z-Pak, plus antibiotics for pneumonia, strep, ear, sinus infections, even meds for nausea and UTIs. Just match your symptoms to the guidebook or connect with the telemedicine doctor. Take your meds early, feel better faster. Listen to what Jenny from Texas said. We got hit by Hurricane Beryl with power out and no medical facilities open. I started on the antibiotics in my kit and quickly began feeling better. Order your kit online in minutes before you need it, and your kit is shipped to your door. Visit urgentcarekit.com/Stephanie. Use the promo code Stephanie. Save $45. That's urgentcarekit.com/Stephanie. That promo code is Stephanie.